Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Extreme on Extreme session. I'm here with our CIO, John Abel. I'm Lydia Garcia, Senior Marketing Manager for Extreme in Southern Europe, based in Madrid. And I'm very happy to share this session with our brand new CIO, just since last April, right? So, how are you today, John? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Lydia. Delighted to be here. I think just over 1 month now here as the new CIO at Extreme Networks. Absolutely thrilled to be here and enjoying every moment of it.
That is great. Thank you. So my first question is, you have a lot of experience on digital transformation, leading companies like Hitachi, Symantec. Why did you choose Stream?
Great question. So yeah, I've been in the IT industry for while it's coming up on 30 years, believe it or not, and 25 years here in Silicon Valley, working at great companies as you just mentioned, such as Symantec and Hitachi, and most recently Veritas. So Extreme, for me, when I looked at this opportunity, was just a tremendous, time to get into a company that is definitely headed in the right direction. So when I look over what's happened in the industry over the last several years, especially with cloud, I've worked at storage companies and I've seen what cloud did to the storage industry and then the compute industry. And so when you think about that in terms of the traditional old IT data center, networking is kind of the last thing, right? And so because compute's gone to the cloud and storage has gone to the cloud. And so, when I looked at Extreme, I thought, what better a company is advancing and so far ahead of the market in terms of putting networking into the cloud. And so it was a no-brainer when I got the call and seeing that, hey, there's an opportunity. I looked at the organization, and then the other thing is you always love to work with great people, right? And that is so important. And so, working with Ed and Norman and Nabil and the whole team, the whole leadership team here at Extreme, when I met all of those guys, I thought, this is a company that's not only going places because of its technology, but the team and everything around it is just super exciting. And so I'm thrilled to be here, as I said, to be part of Team Extreme.
We are all very happy to have you with us and all your experience, John. So my next question is like, our session today is part of the Extreme on Extreme program. Could you please tell us a little bit more about this program?
Sure. So, this is a program that I love to see, especially when I work at technology companies. We sell to see other CIOs, right? So, delighted that prior to me even getting here, Extreme on Extreme already existed. My team were heavily involved in that, and so when I look historically at organizations that I've personally managed and the size of the networking team to run a network at a $1 billion plus enterprise across the world, those teams were pretty big, because networking is a complex business. And so last year when I was looking at last year's Connect videos and so forth, I seen Nabil and the team talk about the effortless experience. And so as I got on board here just over a month ago, I asked, I was shocked at how small the networking team in IT at Extreme is. We have the smallest networking team I've ever come across for an organization of our sheer size. And that, and I've heard from our customers, apparently they're doing the same thing and enjoying that as part of the technology footprint and the solutions that we roll out. So very small team managing, a very complex area, but we are doing it because of the XIQ cloud solution that we have adopted. And so prior to me getting here, so I can't take credit for this by any means, but this organization moved its entire cloud, its entire networking operation over to XIQ in 24 hours globally. And so when we talked last year about this being an effortless experience using our cloud solutions, so believe it or not, Lydia, we had executive assistants, we had non-technical people, non-IT people in offices such as where you're at in Spain or different places around the world, actually putting in access points, right? Putting in our universal access points that could connect to our cloud, where one team who were able to do it. We did that globally in 24 hours. So that is something that just shows the simplicity of the solutions that we are rolling out and how you can be able to manage what was once a very complex part of the IT footprint of the company with very, very few staff, and basically make it, so simple that anybody could run it. So that is just one example of the extreme on extreme, things that we use to show how simple it is to make, cloud networking effortless.
Great stuff. Very, very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing with us, John. So my next question, and we do have to talk about the pandemic. We have to talk about the situation. We're still suffering this terrible pandemic, and that has made us all change our way of living, our way of working, changing to working remote, like I'm doing right now, working at home, for example. So what is your view on the future of networking technology for the enterprise in this post-pandemic world?
Yeah, no, look, that's a great question. I've got a couple of points. First of all, just going into the pandemic, Extreme, like many companies around the world, had to adjust and had to get their workforces, set up and working and being productive in very short order. Delighted to say Extreme, like many companies, but Extreme pulled that off in pure 24 hours again to get their entire company to a remote working environment, excuse me, and set up. And we've all struggled, and I've been on multiple forums with CIOs especially around Silicon Valley and around the United States, talking about return to office strategies and talking about, what is it going to look like? And we've been having those conversations now for several months. I think we're all kind of at the mindset that it is actually going to be a hybrid working environment. There are people who want to go back 100%, being 4 days or more in a regular office. And there are people who don't want to go at all. They're fine to work remotely for the rest of their career. In fact, I actually have surveys from multiple companies that I know, particularly here in Silicon Valley, and the numbers range, believe it or not, from as low as 5% people wanting to return to as high as 50%. The 50% tend to be those companies that are global, have maybe a younger demographic in their workforce, social media type companies, probably think who I'm thinking about. And they, work for them for that workforce was like, hey, it's almost like that's where I'm going to play, right? And I get fed and I get meals and I get all of that kind of stuff. So that kind of, but for the majority of companies, it tends to be in that kind of single digits to maybe teens percentage. So what does that mean? To your point, post-pandemic world, we're getting there. The vaccine is working in many parts of the world, but there's still a long way to go. But what does it mean for people like myself that are planning that future footprint? Well, here's what we're thinking. Basically, if you think about it, prior to the pandemic, let's say a company like Extreme or like some of the other companies I've worked at would have 20, 30, maybe 40 offices around the world. Some places have hundreds of offices around the world. And that's what your network was. That's what you were controlling, right? You were controlling all of those offices. Well, now and for the long-term future, we know that you're going to have a much higher population, no matter where you sit in that return to office in terms of people that want to go back or don't want to go back. We know for a fact that we are going to have many more people long-term working remotely. One of the problems with people working remotely is that they're not always on VPN because they are using lots of SaaS-based applications, which means you really don't know what's going on at that endpoint, right? You really don't know exactly what that is, it patched, what's going on in the activity. Whereas when you were in the office, you had full control and full visibility exactly to all of the endpoints that were connected into your network. Now it's much more challenging. And so we want to solve for that problem because as you just said, it's a completely different landscape. And so in theory, we don't have a company the size of us with over 3,000 employees. We don't have, 30, 40 offices. We have 3,000. We have 3,000 offices. And so if you think about that from a networking perspective, that's like exponential growth. And so what we have to do is how do we solve for that problem? And that's what we're calling the infinite enterprise. And so that is something that's coming up. That is the future of cloud networking. I'm delighted to be partnering with Nabil through the Extreme on Extreme program. As we go into our next fiscal year, we're going to be working heavily on this, on basically how do we think of every single individual that is working remotely as an endpoint connected to our network, and with much more emphasis on security, analytics, understanding that. But without having to go back to the days of massive networking teams to control all of that, because we can do it via the cloud and plug all of those devices and manage all of those devices, through a small team working off the Extreme Cloud. So that's kind of what I see coming up. Very exciting times, I can tell you. I am thrilled to be here, and I can't wait. Nabil is pushing me. I'm saying, give it to me. I can't wait to get that technology and then to go out there and share those stories with our customers.
Yeah, great. I think I'm gonna be 50 to 50, 50 at home, 50 at the office. I think I'm gonna be one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably be a 20 to 30%er, I think.
I need to go to the office also. So thank you so much, John, for sharing this time with us, for sharing your thoughts and your vision. I'm very happy that you chose Extreme. And also thank you everybody for attending this session. I hope you enjoyed it, and please keep on enjoying Connect. Stay connected for the rest of the sessions. Bye.
Bye.